Hey Tax Pros, if you're an ERO with a team, I want to show you how to use SmartWiz's AI-powered tax prep assistant Wizzy to help you level up your firm this year. Not just allowing your preparers to knock out returns in just one click, but allowing you to seamlessly review those returns and get them filed faster than ever. Let's check it out. Awesome. So first things first, let's get our Wizzy open by clicking our robot icon in our browser. And now, some of you might be like, Maddie, listen, I'm an ERO. I don't personally do returns anymore. I am strictly the reviewer, the compliance, the due diligence, the last stop, the last check before we file. I don't do returns, so I'm not sure how Wizzy and this whole one-click thing could help my firm. Fair question, and let's dive into it. First things first is you can give your team access to Wizzy in order to allow your team to use the one-click return feature on their returns and knock out these returns in just one click in a few minutes. So the first thing you can do is go ahead and click, once you're open with Wizzy, click the little banner at the bottom, and that'll open up kind of like your SmartWiz dashboard or your home page. If you come up here and click settings, you'll find this team section. And this is where you can add team leads, team members, and get your team access to your Wizzy. This is also where you're going to be able to allocate returns to each team member or the number of times that they're able to one-click. And you can do all that really easy from this screen. You just click the Add Team Lead or Add Team Member button, type in their email address and the amount of credits that you want to allocate to them. Once you type in their email and click Invite, that team member or that team lead will get an email directly from your business and SmartWiz, and it'll walk them through the setup process. Very similar to your setup process, just a few less steps since they're not the account owner. So once your team gets access to Wizzy, it'll look just like yours, right? They'll have the little robot icon in the top right, and they'll be able to open it up and see this. They're able to add clients and complete their tax returns in just one click. Now's the fun part where you're able to use Wizzy to review those tax returns prior to getting them filed in a clean, simple, easy way. So first things first, for your business, you'll want to go over to this settings wheel in your extension and click this business information section. This is where you can create what we call business tags in order to help you organize effectively and efficiently based on your system and your preparers, right? So in my business, in Impacts Tax, we have a system that we follow, and there's different stages that the return goes throughout the process, right? And so one of those stages is ready for review. The tax pro has finished entering in the data, and they're ready for me to review it before giving the client the quote. Maybe the next step after I review it is that the quote is ready. So maybe I'll create a tag by simply clicking the Create Tag button, and I'll enter the tag name that I want. So whatever matches your business process, whether it's ready for review, double check, final check, however you do your system, you're able to create these tags to kind of match. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do quote ready. And I'm going to make that let's make it like a green, like a dark green. Beautiful. And so I can pick whatever color I want and click create tag. And now we'll see that quote ready tag is there and available for me. So first things first, I would set up all your tags in the different statuses that maybe you use in your business or your process with your preparers, right? And once that's all ready, your team members are able to come in, they're able to load up their clients just like you did, enter in the client's information, complete the tax return, and you'll see the status is automatically completed. That lets you know that one click has been run on this client. Now, let's use Bernard Ingram. Let's say my tax preparers have completed Bernard's tax return, and it is ready for me to review as the ERO. So I would have my tax pros, I would let them know, hey, once your return is complete and you're ready for me to review it in our process, go ahead and come over and click this little pencil icon next to the client and go ahead and add the tag ready for review. Perfect. And now we'll see Bernard is ready for review. You can also do that if you just click onto the client's profile. You're able to edit the client the same way up here in the top right with that pencil icon, and you can add that tag directly from the client profile. And so now what I would do as the ERO is typically in Impacts, what I do is I do a final review each day. And so at the end of the day, when I'm ready to come in and do my review, I would come in, I would filter by the client's status by clicking this little filter icon. And I'm only going to look at the ready for reviews. I'm not too worried about everything else because I'm the ERO and I'm just reviewing, I'm not doing. And so I'm here and I see my list of clients who are ready for me to review their return, right? And so I would go in my tax prep software, find that client. I'm going to do Millard just because that's quick and top of the list. And once you get the client's completed return open, we're able to click on Millard's name in Wizzy and view all of Millard's information side by side to help us review. Now, of course, we hope our preparers already did this review, but of course, as the ERO, it's my responsibility to make sure that everything looks good, makes sense, and is the best possible quote for our client. So I'm just going to use Wizzy and compare the data side by side. I'm going to look at the, documents and ensure all the documents are correct. So we have a W-2. Let's view, make sure we don't have extra stuff. Yep. This all looks good so far. I can zoom in, zoom out, kind of rotate the documents. And then the cool thing about Wizzy is Wizzy tends to kind of do stuff in order, right? So you'll see the W-2 is the first form put in. Then we come down to the student loan interest, and we have that entered in. Let's zoom in, make sure, yep, we're good. And so when you close and you look in this order, that's typically the order in which Wizzy's going to add it to the return and the order in which the return flows. So you can easily use this next document button to navigate to the next document for review. And so after reviewing this return, it looks good. It looks ready to go. Maybe I have a few notes for my preparer. Maybe I shoot them a message in our Slack or our Telegram channel, however you communicate with your users, and you let them know maybe what follow-up questions to ask, maybe a way to help them build this relationship with Millard a little bit more. But you're able to kind of take some of the time out of the back and forth of prep and the back and forth of review because Wizzy keeps it all organized, central in one place. You see exactly what your preparer used to complete the return, and you're able to see everything in one screen. So it makes that review process a little quicker and a little easier, right? And so now once I've reviewed that, I can edit, I can put the status as quote ready. I'll remove that ready to review. And if we go back to our client list, I'll filter, I'll do quote readies as well. And now I can see my quote readies and ready for review. And my preparer, my team member can now see on their end, Millard is quote ready, and they know that they're able to deliver that quote to the client and knock their socks off. And there you have it. That's how Impacts Tax uses SmartWiz's AI-powered tax prep assistant Wizzy to help us knock out the review process for our preparers seamlessly, quickly, efficiently, and giving us both the time back as an ERO and as a preparer to build the relationships of this business and to help increase our clientele year over year. Thanks for watching.